I'm Sandi Pogue. My mentor's name is Charlie there, and my ISM teacher's name is Ms. Robin Holt. And some of the information in this presentation comes from outside sources and will be documented appropriately. Okay, so I chose this mentorship because I really like to sing and play guitar and write songs. And a little bit of background about Charlie. I've known him for almost 14 years because he came to Glory Day, and I've known him since then. Next year, I'm going to be at Dallas Baptist University, and I'm going to be in a degree of songwriting and recording technology. We had a series of goals throughout the whole semester, and I had chosen my own goals and I followed them the way I wanted to. The first goal was to chart or write songs and then chart them and then find people who wanted to record with me. And I arranged a band, and I arranged the songs for the band for the next goal with charts written out here to understand. Then the third goal was to rehearse the band with the 3 songs that I wrote. And then the fourth goal was to record songs with recording equipment. A little bit about me. I love to sing, and I've been singing my whole life. I started playing guitar about 4 years ago. I'm a worship leader at Glory Day Lutheran Church and also Clear Creek Community Church. I'm employed at Super Company, and this year I'm involved in Cinderella, and I'm the queen and Cinderella's understudy, so I'm filling my time with rehearsals for that. So it kind of made the times that I had to find with Charlie a little bit difficult later on. The whole purpose of this mentorship is to see if I wanted to pursue this degree later on, and I have found that I really like this, so that's why I am majoring in music business. Later on in my life, I want to open a recording studio, and so that's a far-on goal that I will try to reach later on. I already talked about my goals, about what I wanted to do. So write songs, arrange them for band, rehearsals, and record them. A little bit more about Charlie. He's been my guitar teacher for about 2 years, a little bit more than that. He studied at Musicians Institute in Hollywood. He's married and has 3 children, and that's his wife in the picture right there. He opened his own school called Touchpoint School of Music in 1998, which is the year after I was born. He has toured with all of these people, and so he's a very well-known musician. He's really talented. He's encouraged me to dream big and work hard for my goals, and that's been really encouraging for me. He's always believed in me, and I've been honored to be under his wing for this whole thing. So one of my goals was to arrange for the whole band and find a band first, because that's kind of important. I had 4 people that I asked to be in my band with me, and so I asked Isaiah Gonzalez, and he is my bass player, and some of his music history, he's been playing bass at Glory Day for as long as I can remember, which is not that long because I have a very small memory. He started learning bass when he was 7 years old. He's recorded in Spencer Fort's band as well as Sam Decker's, which are also people in my band. Spencer Fort, he plays the piano and guitar, and in my mentorship he played piano for the recording purposes. The music history that he's had, he started learning piano in 2003, and then he started a band and learned guitar in the same year, in 2012. And then he went solo in 2013, and then he's been singing for as long as he can remember. He's also in choir with me every day, so I enjoy seeing him here. Sam Decker, he's the electric guitar player in my band, and he also plays piano. but he plays a series of different instruments too. He's a multi-instrumentalist. He's also a singer-songwriter, just like me, and he is releasing another album. And he formed the band City Roots, which has a bunch of people that I know, so it's pretty cool. Brett Morris, he's here. He plays the drums, and so he's very good at what he does. He's been playing drums for 10 years and studied jazz for 5 years. He also co-founded the band Winter Road from 2009 to 2014. He's recorded a numerous amount of tracks, and so he's very experienced. So as I said before, I had 4 goals that I tried to accomplish. Charted the song lyrics, arranged the songs to a full band, rehearsals with the band, and recorded the final copy of the original songs. And so I ended up doing that, but later on my goals got a little bit more tricky to accomplish because we didn't have the right equipment or people didn't have enough time for rehearsals, so I had to arrange all of that and coordinate with everybody. So it was kind of difficult, but it showed me more about what to do later on in my life. My first goal was to write songs and then chart them out, and Charlie showed me how to chart them and how to make them nice and neat. These are a couple of my rough drafts. I originally wrote 6 songs that I wrote and then charted them, so we turned it down a little bit and then just did 3 because it was taking a longer time than we were expecting to. This is something that I based the charts off of, and I have handouts so you guys can look at them. We already have them. So the first handout says, at the top it says chart reading and reading roadmap. So that one has different elements to writing a chart nice and neat and have it all organized. And then something that I learned was that I have to have all of the bar lines all equally spaced out so that it's easy to read. And then the 2 lines at the top on number 9, that's to show the end of a section, and then if there's a stripe and then a solid line, that means it's the end of the song. Some of these are just directions on where to go later on in the song when you're reading it, and I was trying to make it perfectly nice and neat so then the band members could do it all in one take and they could understand it, and then they would ask questions during rehearsals just to make sure they understood. And then what you do to make the tempo, you would set a time signature, and then you do different markings, the different slashes to do it for different time signatures, and sometimes it would change. And if you want to do a specific rhythm, you can do 8th notes or 16th notes or rests or something like that. And the repeat marks with a line and then a dot and then another one, but they're next to each other. Those were either like halfway through or at the end of a bar measure phrase, so then it's easier to read, so it's not at the end of a thing. That's what I did a couple times. And then Charlie told me to change it, so I learned from that. So these are some of the lyrics that I wrote first off, and then some of them are on here that I recorded, and some of them I wrote earlier. So these are just a bunch of lyrics that I have written down. We ended up not using some of them because of what I said earlier, how we ran out of time to record them. My goal number 2 was to arrange it for a full band. And so this was my finalized version of the charts that I did. These each have different ones for these are the final songs that I have charted out. One second. So this one is the first one. And each whole note that I drew was supposed to be like a diamond, so then it's easier to understand than a circle, maybe. And then a slash with 2 dots is to repeat the measure before it. And if there's 2 lines, that's to repeat 2 measures before that. Then that's the second half of that song. And Charlie taught me to put the coda either on a new page or on a completely different line to make it easier to look at. This is broken, and it has all the chords out there on the top of each bar line. This song, he made me learn how to name the chords from music theory that he taught me throughout the whole ISM thing. So I've learned a lot of music theory and a lot more than I have in a couple of months, so that's pretty good. This is my last song. It's significantly shorter, but there's a bunch of repeats in it, so it's the same length, but it's just minimized down from the repeats. My third goal has a bunch of pictures from the process, and we had several problems, and so we kind of had to improvise for some of them. And as you can see right there, that's a mic that Sam had, and we needed a mic stand, and the only one I had was kind of a circle, and so we taped the microphone on. So that was our improvisation. And then we recorded the piano and my guitar and my singing and the bass all at my house, and so there wasn't really a room that we could do it in since it wasn't really big enough, because we were supposed to use a recording studio, but that didn't end up working out. So we just went to my house, and then Sam Decker, my electric guitar player, he helped me record everything later on. This is the piano. We just recently got it, and it worked pretty well. And then this is Sam. He's the person that recorded everything. We were in the worship center at Pogue church, and we were recording the drums. Here's a couple shots from that. And there's Brett. Audacity is the recording system that we use, and I can access it on my computer, and so that was really handy when we were recording everything together. And then later on, Sam Decker used his radio mix, I think, and he used it on his Mac, and so he could do a lot more with the editing process, which you'll hear later on at the end of my presentation. And Sam taught me how to use everything, and so it was really helpful that I could use it so I can do it by myself now. And my goal number 4 is the final product, so I'll show that when I'm done with this. My research summaries all have all come from different sources, and they will all be cited with the appropriate citations. Okay, so the first one I did, each research summary we had to go on a website or get a book or something like that and list 10 points, like the 10 most important points from that. And so the first one I did was from How to Become Successful in the Music Business. And so a couple of the things that I learned from that website was music business is, like, some people mistake music business to be different than actual business, but it has almost the same things. It has the product, a salesman, advertising, and marketing and stuff like that. Good questions to ask, what I learned was, are you financially stable, or can you accept criticism? Because if you're a musician, you need to be able to accept that, because you need to learn from your positive criticism. What I've learned from my experience, that it's always good to show people your own writing or lyrics or music to get their opinion, and it's really good to hear from different opinions, because then you know what people want and you know what they like to hear. The second one I did was how to copyright music, which was beneficial because I am wanting to do that later on, and so I learned a lot from this website. The online, I learned you go to this website right there, and it's $35 to get an album or an EP all copyrighted. And the point of copywriting is to avoid your work getting stolen, and so then you can legally claim it later on if you want to make sure that no one can steal it. Also, if you want to copyright your songs through the mail, it's $50 if you send it to an address on that website right there. My third research summary was from a book that I found at a Facebook store. It's called The Art of Writing Great Lyrics. And this one was really helpful because I use almost all of these points on there every time I'm writing a song. And so it actually made it more easy for me to write songs. Something else, it was really helpful whenever I would write down the lyrics as soon as I thought of them, because later on you can just forget about them and it's hard to remember. It also takes a bunch of time and effort, so I have to always make time for that, even though I have a busy schedule. And also, the trials and errors are really helpful, because then you know what works and what doesn't. Also, we learn from other musicians, so it's good to always keep your mind open for them and to listen to what they're doing with different chord progressions or something like that. The point of writing, like where I get my inspiration, is because we want to express what we feel like all the time, and we want to paint more precise and more interesting pictures. And that was a quote from that book. The last one I had, it was 20 tips on sight reading. I think that was in sight songwriting, sorry. That was another website. And this one was also really helpful because it said a bunch of the same things that Charlie had taught me earlier, so it was just re-expressing what he had said. One of the big things was try using a different time signature. A lot of my songs were stuck in 6/8, so Charlie helped me figure out how to make it 4/4 or 3/4 time signature. And then always be writing things down. That was a good tip that they had. Also something that I ran into later on, I had my songs in the same key, and so I had to figure out how to change that without, with making it interesting and leaving it the same way. And then co-writing is really good too, to help see how other people write, and it's good because they have more knowledge than you may have, so that's a good thing. And then the last thing on here, whenever I'm stuck on a chord progression, sometimes it's helpful playing it backwards or doing a different order, but I don't normally do that. That's just something that the website said, but I normally have Charlie help me with some of those difficult errors. So my fourth goal was the songs that I have right here, and I'm going to play that soon. And I would just want to thank all of you for coming out here, and I want to thank everyone who helped me with my final presentation or my final product. And are there any questions before we start? It's now on to breathe. fake, never showing who I really am, till you came along and saw me for who I was. But now you don't want me anymore. It's like watching everything I hold turn reality into a bad dream. Then I open up my eyes now. Nightmares eating me alive. What am I supposed to think? Was I a waste of your time? I can't help that you are always on my mind. Wanting to hate you, but I'm still in love with you. This is what life feels like in my soul. Pain is a miracle. Bring it to make it. That is what it is. I still love you for what it's worth. Yeah, that was the first one. And I wasn't there to help mix that, so a couple of the things on there I wanted to change, but I wasn't able to because of the time that we had. This is my second one that I have. Wings are swaying, birds are chirping. song is called The One Who Runs. Thank you for